Physics is one of the broader subjects that fall under the category of science. Physics is concerned with every aspect of universe. In this year, in the first lesson, we are dealing with electric charges and fields. So, Unit 1, electric charges and fields. First, let me ask you, what do you mean by charge? Charge is an intrinsic property of matter, or it is a fundamental property of matter. In our previous classes, we have studied this equation I is equal to Q by T, where I is the amount of current, Q is the charge and T is the time. From this equation, we can find out the equation for charge. Q is equal to I into T. So, the symbol used to represent charge is Q. And what is the symbol of charge? It is Q. Then, what is the unit of charge? Unit of charge is coulomb, represented by the letter capital C. Whether it is a scalar quantity or vector quantity, it is a scalar quantity. As we all know, there are two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. Like charges always repel each other and unlike charges always attract each other. These are the previous knowledges that we have. Next, is there any method to charge an uncharged body? We need to charge an uncharged body. Is there any method? Yes, there are three methods to charge a body. They are: first one is rubbing, or it is also known as charging by friction. And the second one is conduction. And the third one is induction. These are the three methods to charge an uncharged body. First one is rubbing, second one is conduction, and the third one is induction. We can discuss each one detailedly. First, charging by rubbing. Here, we have an uncharged piece of cloth and uncharged plastic rod. What happens when they are rubbed together? We know in an uncharged cloth, for example, this is our uncharged cloth. Since it is uncharged, it contains equal number of positive charges and equal number of negative charges. So, let me give the uncharged cloth. It has 3 positive charges and 3 negative charges at first. And here is the plastic rod. It is also uncharged. That means it also have equal number of positive charges and equal number of negative charges. Let me give 4 positive charges and 4 negative charges. What happens when the cloth is rubbed by the plastic rod? When two substances are rubbed together, electron transfer takes place there. Or we can say that some electrons from the plastic rod transfers to the cloth. For example, in this case, electrons from the plastic rod moves to the cloth. Then what will be the final condition? 2 electrons flows to the cloth. So in the cloth the total charge is like this. So there are 3 positive charges and 5 negative charges. Since negative charge is more, the cloth becomes negatively charged. And what is the case of the rod? Now it has 4 positive charges and 2 negative charges. So it is positively charged. This is seen in the figure also. First we have an uncharged cloth and an uncharged plastic rod. After rubbing, the rod becomes positively charged and the cloth becomes negatively charged. This is known as charging by friction. It is also known as charging by rubbing. The charge obtained here is also known as frictional electricity. Since in the positively charged rod, electrons are transferred to the cloth or it lost electricity. So the mass decreases because it lost electron. Then in the case of the cloth, it gains electricity, it gains electrons, so the mass increases. This is charging by rubbing or charging by friction. The next method is charging by conduction or charging by contact. What happens here is, in this method we have a charged body and one uncharged body. We have to charge the uncharged body. For that, we have to place this charged body in contact with the uncharged body. What happens is, some charge from the charged body is transferred or flows through to the uncharged body. In that way, the uncharged body gets charged. This method is known as conduction. It is also known as charging by contact. This method is used to charge conductors. The third and final method is charging by induction or without direct contact. In this method also, we have an uncharged body and a charged body. For example, this is the uncharged body and this is the charged body. Our charged body is negatively charged. In this case, there is no direct contact. We have to place the charged body nearer to the uncharged body without touching it. When a charged body is brought near to an uncharged body, that end of the uncharged conductor, which is nearer to the charged body, gets oppositely charged, and a farther end is charged with the same type of charge. So in this case, the nearer end becomes the opposite charge, that is positive charge, and the further end gets the same charge, that is negatively charged. It is represented in this figure also. This method is known as charging by induction or without direct contact. These are the three methods of charging a body. First one was charging by rubbing, second one was charging by conduction, and the third one was charging by induction. In this, the first method, charging by rubbing or charging by friction, is used to charge insulators. Our next topic are properties of electric charge. Is there any property for electric charge? Yes, mainly there are three properties for electric charge. First one is additive property. Additive property. The additive property says that if a system contains n charges, that is Q1, Q2, Q3, etc. up to Qn, then the total charge of the system is Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3, etc. up to Qn. That is, to find the total charge of the system, we need to add all the individual charges. For example, if this is a system and it contains three charges, Q1, Q2 and Q3, then the total charge Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. This property is known as additive property. The second property is conservation of electric charge. Conservation of electric charge says that charge can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be transferred from one body to another. So, no charge is produced all on a sudden and no charge is destroyed, but one can be transferred from one body to another. If it is so, let me say, here I have a system which contains a total charge of Q and it is isolated. It is in isolation. That means there is no other systems to contact. Then what will be the charge of the system after t second? Yes, it will be Q itself. Why? Because no charge is produced, no charge is destroyed, but the only thing can be done is to transfer. In this case, there is no option to transfer the charge. So, there will be no change for the charge. The charge will be Q itself. So, the conservation of electric charge can also be said in such a way that the total charge of an isolated system is always conserved. This is conservation of electric charge. The third property is quantization of electric charge. According to quantization of electric charge, in the universe, charge of any body is an integer multiple of E. What is E? E is the charge of an electron, which is E is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So, by using quantization of electric charge, we can say that the charge of all the bodies should be an integer multiple of E. That means it can be 1e, that is the same charge of an electron, or 2e, or that means the twice the charge of an electron, 3e, etc. And the charge of a body cannot be written as 1.5e or 2.5e, etc. This is quantization of electric charge. By using this property, we can write an equation. The charge of a body Q is equal to NE, where Q is the charge of a body, N is the integer, and E is the charge of an electron. In the first portion, we said that there are two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. Like charges always repel each other, and unlike charges always attract each other. If it is so, with what amount of force they would attract or repel? What is the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges? How it can be calculated? It is calculated by the famous law, Coulomb's law, which is found out by the famous scientist Charles Augustin de Coulomb. This is Charles Augustin de Coulomb. He found out the famous law, Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is used to find out the amount of force of attraction or repulsion between two charges. So, according to Coulomb's law states that the electrostatic force between two stationary point charges is directly proportional to product of the magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. We can explain it. If I have two charges, Q1 and Q2, they are placed in a distance r apart in air. If this is positive and this is positive, we know they will repel each other. With what amount of force they would repel each other? According to Coulomb's law, the force of repulsion or force of attraction, F, is directly proportional to product of the magnitude of their charges. The product of the magnitude of charges is Q1 into Q2. Then it again says that the force is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So it can be written as F proportional to 1 by r square. We can combine these two equations as F proportional to Q1 Q2 by r square. For changing the proportionality sign, we need to multiply it with a constant. Here the constant is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by r square. This is the equation for Coulomb's law. F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by r square, where epsilon 0 is the permittivity of free space. That is, permittivity means it is the ability of a medium to store charge. The value of epsilon 0 is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 Coulomb square Newton raised to minus 1 meter raised to minus 2. So this is Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction or repulsion between two stationary electric charges is directly proportional to product of the charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. By using this Coulomb's law, we can find out the force of attraction or repulsion between two charges. So that's all. Thank you.